New Country 98.1.
Yeah, and good morning to you. We are heading back over to Camrose Adult Learning, and we are chatting with Ron this morning. And Ron, we have somebody joining us on the line who has used your services in the past, and we figured we should talk to him and get a little bit of a testimonial going.
Absolutely, as the song just ended with, good times. So we have good times here. It's an absolute pleasure to be back. And yeah, thanks, Scott, so much. And thanks to all the listeners for hanging in there. You know what, Scott? Lots of people and organizations make bold statements and claims about who they are, what they accomplish. And I believe these statements, proclamations, are absolutely meaningless if they do not translate into reality. That is why I brought adult student Steve Arsenault today to share his story of his experience and ultimately his reality with Camrose Adult Learning Council. It has been said, and I firmly believe, success is not just measured by what you achieve. It is, more importantly, measured by what you have overcome. Steve Arsenault is an exemplary model of success and inspiration, actually, to those who might find themselves in a similar situation. We are all here so proud of Steve, mostly because of what he's overcome, but also his dedication and the work that he did to earn the top mark in the entire province on his just completed GED exam. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Steve Arsenault.
I love it already.
Yeah, I don't know how you follow that up or talk about an introduction and a half.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys, for having me on the program. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, maybe we can start off, Steve. Maybe you could talk about a little bit about your background and where you were headed before you got to Camrose Adult Learning.
Oh, for sure, Scott. I mean, like, I guess I was your typical failure story, I guess, if you will. Like, you know, I kind of dropped out of school young. I only had my grade 9, I think, when I came to the program. Kind of the same thing most people struggle with, you know, alcohol. I had problems with that, problems with drugs, problems with finances. Couldn't keep a straight job, was like having problems trying to think about where my future might lie. And honestly, I was looking at just wasting money again. And somebody who said, you know, if you're going to waste a little bit more money on some more stereo gear or some more beer, maybe you should go down and check out the Camrose Adult Learning Center. So yeah, that's what I did. And like the moment I walked in the door, it pretty much changed my life.
Yeah, so let's talk about that then. What exactly, I guess what stuck out to you and what changed your life when you walked in through that door?
Honestly, like, I mean, I guess I was kind of scared, to tell you the truth. I mean, I was a little bit nervous. But you walk in the door, and from the second that the lady says hi to you, it's just kind of really bright and warm place. And then, you know, you meet Ron almost as soon as you walk in the door. He's got his office right by the entrance. And he's happy to come out and greet every single person that comes in with a big smile. And honestly, like, just kind of right away, just kind of puts your mind at ease. They bring you in and kind of give you a little assessment to see where your skills lie and tell you where you might need some improvements and see what kind of courses. They offer a variety of courses, but in my particular instance, I was looking to do my grade 12, so I went and signed up for their GED program. It was pretty effortless. Like, I mean, they had me funded within the 24-hour period, and I was in starting classes the next week. I mean, it was pretty easy. Honestly, my opinion about education as a whole changed just by walking into the place.
We're chatting with Steve Arsenault, and he's a student that has used the services over at Camrose Adult Learning Council. And Steve, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what your instructor Neil Sorensen did to provide you support and instruction for that GED.
Oh my goodness, man. I could never have met a luckier person. Like, the circumstances, I mean, like, Neil Sorensen, let me tell you about him, man. Never met a stronger educator, more intelligent person, like a positive mentor, a great role model, just a fun guy. He's so funny, he's cool. And I mean, honestly, like, I wish I hadn't met him when I was younger. I mean, I couldn't imagine how lucky kids were to have this man as a teacher, let alone to meet him as an adult and be able to relate to somebody who's just above and beyond willing to help. I mean, like, I can't think of how many times he called me on his own time, brought me in for extra time to study, extra time to learn how to do exams, and even just as recently as helping me pick out my university courses after I got the GED. I mean, Neil, if anybody ever had a doubt in education or themselves, that man will help alleviate any problems that you had. And these two men, Ron and Neil, will go above and beyond to help you achieve any goal that you have set in mind, because they've done it for me, and I'm sure they do it for anyone else.
Let's continue chatting about this GED. You getting it now and those outstanding results that Ron alluded to at the beginning there. How has this impacted and changed your life?
Oh my goodness, Scott, I wouldn't even know where to begin. So long story short, I mean, basically, from the time I walked in there the first time, I just thought I was kind of overwhelmed, wasn't sure I could do it. These two guys, so much positive reinforcement, never built anyone up the way I've seen these two men do it. And honestly, man, like the way it changed for me was like, every day I'd go in there and I'd say, I don't know if I could do it. I don't think I can do this. And Neil would say, no, you can, no, you can. And he identified my strong suits, he identified my weaknesses, helped build myself up. And facts of the matter are, man, I thought I wasn't even going to pass. And by the time I was done, I had some of the highest recorded marks in the province. I mean, my one thing that I was having the issues with was an essay. So Neil took the time, he brought me in for extra essays on Saturdays, extra essays on Sundays. Right up until 2 days before I took my GED, we were writing extra essays. And actually, I got a 99 in my written essays,
nice.
Thanks to Neil Sorensen. I mean, it's like the highest marks you can get. And honestly, it's changed my life in many ways. It's got me a new position in my career. It's got me set up for on track for university. I've already been approved for that. Just working on getting the funding, which Neil is helping me with as well. I mean, literally, these guys go above and beyond. I can't even think of how it's going to impact my life in the future, because I've already had job opportunities. I'm on the radio.
Which I know you are super pumped about.
Right? To be on this program alone is a distinction. So, I mean, I can't even imagine what the future could hold for me. And, I mean, to think about where I've come from, there's people ahead of me in line that are even better than me. I couldn't even wait to see what kind of potential they could unlock in themselves just by walking in the door of that place. Mind you, it's entirely free. Like if your funding is provided for you, if you qualify. So I mean, just try. Just be not scared. Walk through the door. You know, that's all it takes is that first step, and these guys will get you where you need to go. That's for sure.
Being on this show is a distinction. I've never heard that before.
Hey, it's the new 98.1.
Well, don't sell yourself short there, Scott. Maybe you can come in for a course.
That's it.
Right? Okay, Steve, you mentioned university. You mentioned that it got you a new position in your career. What else does the future hold for you?
Honestly, like, I mean, there's no longer a cap on what my future is. Because, I mean, honestly, Scott, like, I mean, I'd always thought that I had been a little bit optimistic. But, I mean, now that I have my GED, nothing can ever take that from me. And that's something that you have to remember is, like, you know, you can come and go and lose and gain, but nothing can ever take your achievements. And, I mean, facts are, that GED, that's an achievement. So, I mean, where I go from here, it's unbounded. I have no clue where I'm going to end up. But all I know is that I feel better and that there's no way that anyone can take that from me, man. Like, so, like, what the future holds in store for me, yeah, I'm going to university. I'll be looking at Bachelor of Commerce. I'll be looking at all kinds of different things, and from there, the world's my oyster, Scott. So I'd encourage anybody who's unsure about themselves, anybody who wanted to possibly just live a better life, or just have a small win. Just get that one course, that little bit of training, because from there, the ball starts rolling, and then, boom, before you know it, you got your high school, you're registered for your university, and who knows, from then, you can just take over everything.
Absolutely. If you want all the details on Camrose and Area Adult Learning, you can visit their website, camroselearning.com, or give them a shout, 672-8754. Thanks so much for joining me this morning, guys.
You're very welcome. Well, I just want to quickly add, if you could share how old you are there, Steve.
I'm 35 years old, man. I graduated high school at 35. Never thought it was possible. I mean, here it is, January, and I'm registered for university in September. I was just your average every guy. As a matter of fact, I turned 36 years old. My birthday's tomorrow. So I couldn't
happy birthday.
Well, thank you so much, Scott. Honestly, like, I'm elated to even just be on the program. I'm happy to be able to share my story, my experience with Camrose Adult Learning Center. And honestly, man, get out there and try it. Like, that's all I could say is, like, literally make the first step. And if you fail along the way, these guys will be there to catch you. That's for sure, man.
Got something you want?